Hello everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr.
And I'm Tim Pratt.
And tonight we're going to be sharing a beer with you that I've actually been sitting on this one for quite a while. This is the Bell's Expedition Stout. I'll hold that up there so you guys can see it. But anyway, Tim invited me over tonight to watch a little Monday Night Football, so we thought we'd knock out a couple of reviews as well. So thanks a lot for having me, beer and football.
Absolutely, glad to have you over at... I think by now the name Dose or Satellite Studio might be coming out. And again, you might be hearing some dogs or whatnot in the background because it's such a beautiful night here in KC. We decided to set up on the front porch here. So if you hear anything in the background, well, hell, that's just ambient noise for your enjoyment.
Exactly. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing pouring. Again, this is the Bell's Expedition Stout. I'm not sure if you've ever had this one or not.
I have not.
I've had it maybe once or twice. And I know I've had this one sitting down in the basement at least for maybe about a year. I actually forgot I had it and found it today before I was coming over, and I was like, perfect day for it. But anyway, let's get you some poured in there. It does clock in at 10.5%, so it is an Imperial Stout, a pretty big Imperial Stout at that. But
and by initial looks, it's everything that an Imperial Stout should be. It's about as dark as night. Got a nice khaki tan head on that, looking really, well, frankly, like an Imperial Stout should.
It's so black that you when you hold it up, all you really see is your reflection in the glass. I mean, there's nothing going through this. I would say even at its lightest down at the bottom, you might get a little bit of like a dark raisin color.
Yeah.
But aside from that, yeah, pretty dark. Let's smell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've said before on the show, you can get some things that just get so dark, so roasty, so big that they almost kind of take on, almost a sweetness to the malt bill that's in there.
Or
on the nose,
tartness.
yeah, on the nose, this one definitely comes out and leads off with a little bit of that.
Yeah, I get a lot of those really dark caramel notes out of here. I was telling Tim before we started, just from recent memory, that this really reminds me of Goose Island's Bourbon County Stout, but without the bourbon barrel aging on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're getting that as well.
No, definitely getting some of that. And to his point, the same thing with, the Night Stalker by Goose Island as well. It's the same base Imperial Stout. They just, with the Night Stalker in that case, they just don't, age it in the barrels. They just hop it to high heaven. And, they did that. And, if you've had that one, imagine that with a little bit less hop, and you're going to be somewhere along the line there.
Yeah. I get a lot of really dark fruits out of here too. If you take a quadruple, just the way a quadruple smells, and amp that up to a stout level, it's got that dark, rich, fruity character in there. So it's got the rich caramels, the dark fruits, tons of molasses.
The one thing that's not really that present in this beer that I've had in some Imperial Stouts, even with the Velvet Merlin that we reviewed on the short on this show, it just doesn't have that coffee roastiness to it.
Yeah.
It's missing a little bit of that, what I would almost call kind of
like a bitter smell.
A bitter smell, kind of almost, not burnt, but just very heavily roasted. And this is definitely not bringing a whole lot of that through. I've got to, say I appreciate a little bit when it comes to stouts, because sometimes they can be a bit, too roasty for me anyway.
Well, dude, I say we bust it out and take a drink and see what we think.
Well, I agree.
Alrighty. Huge.
Woo, woo, yeah. Lots of dark caramel, molasses.
Tons of molasses.
Again, not incredibly bitter as far as the roast goes.
Yeah.
There's more. It's more prevalent as you drink it, but it's not overpowering, I don't think. But this thing's just huge.
Yeah, huge is a good word. I talk about, it reminds me a lot of the 1050 as well, where, after you've had your lips on the glass and you've gotten some of the beer on your lips, you can actually feel your lips being sticky because it's just so viscous, and it's one of those beers when you move it around the glass like that, you can see the actual brown color from that malt stick to the side of the glass.
Yeah, this one sticks. I mean, it's not... There's some nice lace on that, and frankly, this is, I've got lacing all the way up the side of a glass on half a pour. So I mean, it's as thick and viscous as you can get, as dark as night as you can get.
I think it's really good to have beers like this. You know, if you can buy them during the summer, you can buy them during the spring, whenever. Put them down in your basement, forget about them, and then you have nights like tonight. You know, we're sitting out here on the front porch, and it's not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but just kind of sitting out on the cool porch and having a nice warming beer like this, about ready to watch some Monday Night Football. You know, it
can't be a bad thing.
No, I think it's a pretty good beer. I don't, you know, I say a lot lately, I don't think it's got the wow factor. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's, if you're somebody who likes the really big molassesy end Imperial Stouts, I think you'll really, really like this one. If you're somebody who tends to lean more towards the, you know, the coffee bitterness end, I think, you know, you probably might not like this one as much.
There's not, you know, as much as some of, you know, what you almost would, you know, call a gimmick Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in there to really draw you in. So there's no bourbon barrel aging on it. Yeah. It hasn't, you know, been sleeping in some random cave for, you know, a year and a half, except actually it's been sleeping in your basement for about a year. So
exactly.
If anything, it's gotten very smooth. So, yeah. And this is one of those beers, guys, that you'll be able to let sit for a while. I mean, it's big enough. It's going to age pretty well. So don't feel that you have to run out and drink that thing immediately. Yeah.
We don't have a whole lot left, so, and that's good. You know, I think really sharing this with another person is really, you know, perfect amount of beer. I mean, 6 ounces of something this big, it's really all you need, and then that way you can drink something else. But, well, guys, thanks a lot for coming back to another session of the Hopry. Hope you guys are liking the videos that we're putting out lately. Hopefully you like Tim's videos that he's been putting out. Glad to have you on board officially. I think this is our first review together since then. But until then, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
And then we'll take another sip and then I'll edit that out. Actually, that'd be kind of